So
understand it enough, but there are.
what's the benefit of running knots then versus core, or maybe even just holding an old core rather than updating to 30?
So it won't. Your default settings will still be at. So knots is 40 bytes for this op return. Core currently is like 83 bytes, I think, 80 or 83, and so it just means it would just carry on the same way it has now. Spam can still enter, but needs to go through. They'll just basically keep going through UTXOs.
Could it be because at the minute knots is like what 15%, 15-20%.
It's like 19%.
Okay, so let's just say 20%, but 80% run core. So it's still the majority of nodes are core. So if anybody was to be attacked, you would want to take down core. Could it be that could it be an option that if knots is the only one filtering out this illegal content, but core isn't, could it then be that all the core node runners are demonized, which is the vast majority of, maybe running core becomes illegal or demonized or whatever, because that's the only one that it's almost like core like self-sabotaging, and then everybody moves on to knots. And then
the advantage as well, or the other big thing is that you would have a potential legal like workaround sort of thing. So let's say the worst thing happens, CSAM ends up on there, goes out in the mainstream media, and the governments are like, we ban anyone running a node in our country.
My point being, would they say we need to we need to ban specifically core nodes because that's the only one?
Well, what you could do is say, look, I was running knots this whole time, so don't ban mine. Basically,
that's what I'm saying. But isn't knots is a lot newer, and it's there's a lot less developers on there, so it could be a lot more easily infiltrated.
Again, I think this is
I don't really know. I don't really understand
it. I think this is where a lot of misconception comes around, and a lot of the FUD around knots is like that's what, and they come from the core developers mainly. That there's 5 maintainers on core at the minute, and they're basically people who can make changes to the rules and stuff. There's only one, Luke Dasher, maintainer on knots. Knots is just a fork of core, so it's basically, I don't know, like 98% the same as core. It's just those tiny little filters and things which are different. But knots also has, I think this is where people don't understand this bit, is that knots does have developers working on knots. It's only that Luke Dasher is the one that can change it. And also, I heard this from I think it was Forrest that said this from like Maple Bitcoin. He made a really good point that having 5 people that can change it compared to 1, it's not necessarily a good thing. If that one person is honest and trustworthy and is doing the right thing for Bitcoin, because you only need one of those 5 persons to be corrupt to then infiltrate and maybe push their agenda and, inception everyone else and make them believe that what it is good. So from a state or government, whatever you want to call it, from the enemies of Bitcoin's point of view, they only need to infiltrate one of those 5 people.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Yeah.
So
it's like democracy versus monarchy. Like if you've got a good king that has 100% control, then that's good.
Exactly.
But
that's it.
The risk is if he's not good. Yeah.
Yeah. But as the Bitcoin community has shown, going from literally like nothing to 20% in just a few months, they react. They see the data and they react, they respond to that. So if Luke Dasher ever did get coerced himself, why couldn't the same thing happen again? It's like it has to run on something. It has the nodes need to use some sort of software. But yeah, again, it's very techie, and I don't really know enough to say for sure. But that's my point. And it seems like Luke Dasher has a bad rap because of like his religion and things that.
Why? What is his religion?
Catholic.
Oh, based.
So it's like, personal attacks seem to be the main issue with Luke Dashit.
That's right.
Matthew
Yeah.
Krasser
Rather
on
than
Bitcoin University showed how Luke Dashit basically saved Bitcoin in like 2013. There's
and who's on the
It's very
core
biased.
team?